Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's dive into this because, well, we've all been there, right? You know the feeling, a tiny little ping on your phone and suddenly your heart is racing. Or a completely casual remark from a coworker just entirely derails your afternoon. If that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're taking a super fascinating, incredibly microscopic look at stress. And just to be clear, we aren't going to talk about the abstract philosophical idea of stress. No, we're looking at the tangible, literal, biological reality of it as it happens to us in real time. We're going to deeply explore exactly how our nervous systems react to everyday disruptions and, much more importantly, how we can construct a powerful structural framework to actually manage them.
So think about your morning today. Think about that sudden, urgent email from your boss, or some car unexpectedly cutting you off in traffic. What happens to our bodies in a single moment of stress? Right then, right in that exact split second, your heart rate absolutely spikes, your breathing gets shallow, your muscles tense up like you're literally about to wrestle a grizzly bear. Even though, let's be real, you're actually just sitting in an ergonomic office chair holding a cup of coffee. Before we even assign a clinical or academic term to it, we have to recognize that this is a physical, undeniable reality. It is a rapid invasion of your baseline state. It happens incredibly fast, and it happens deep within your nervous system, totally bypassing your logical brain entirely.
Now, let's just slow the clock down for a second. We aren't talking about the general stress of a hard year, a tough month, or even a bad week. We are zooming all the way into the micro level of our lived experience. A specific, isolated fraction of time. A Tuesday at 2:14 p.m., a Thursday at 8 a.m. sharp. It's in these tiny, isolated fragments of our day that the actual physical battle of stress is fought and experienced. Your nervous system fires off a response in a matter of milliseconds. That speed is a leftover survival mechanism from our ancient ancestors. But today, because that alarm system fires off in a given moment in time over totally harmless things, like calendar invites, we really have to learn how to consciously navigate that precise, high-speed biological reaction. Clinically, we call this precise phenomenon state anxiety. Our source material defines this as the level of stress our body develops in a given moment in time. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it points out this is a physical development. Think about that. It's not a character flaw. It's not just a passing thought or some vague generalized worry. It is a physiological shift happening directly inside our bodies right when a stressor hits. Giving it this specific name is actually a real game changer because it separates the stress from your identity. You are not an anxious person. You are simply a person who has entered into a temporary, involuntary state of anxiety in that exact second. Let's actually deconstruct the anatomy of this anxiety, because honestly, understanding it is absolutely vital to gaining control over it. First up, level of stress. This tells us it operates on a really wide spectrum. It can be just a mild bubbling irritation when you can't find your keys, or a full-blown spike of panic right before giving a public speech. Second piece, our body develops. I really want to emphasize that word, develops. It's an active biological generation of chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol. Your body is physically doing something to you. And the third part, in a given moment in time. It is sudden, it is visceral. This invasive chemical cocktail doesn't ask for your permission. It simply materializes in your biology exactly when the environment triggers it.
There's actually a specific three-step sequence to all this chaos. Step 1, a moment in time occurs. The external trigger happens. The bad news, the loud noise, the sudden deadline. Step 2, the body develops stress, immediately and automatically entering that biological condition of state anxiety we just broke down. But then we hit step 3, which is frankly the most critical part of this entire explainer, because it's where we finally find our agency. The stress meets a threshold, it hits a boundary. Let's move to and see how this builds, because this is the exact intersection where the uncontrollable, unpredictable external world crashes directly into the internal architecture you've put in place.
And that brings us to this profound instruction from our source text. Build a resilience threshold. Just let those words sit with you for a moment. This isn't just a passing piece of self-help advice. It is a foundational mantra for managing our psychological and physiological state. If state anxiety is the chaotic, unpredictable wave suddenly crashing against the shore, the resilience threshold is the seawall. It is the absolute core of how we protect our internal well-being from the turbulence of the outside world. And just like a physical seawall, it has to be deliberately designed, reinforced, and maintained.
Notice the core action required here, build. We so often make the critical mistake of thinking about resilience as just a passive trait. We look at calm, collected people and assume they were just born lucky, born naturally tough, or gifted with a perfectly balanced nervous system. But the text tells us otherwise. Resilience requires construction. While your nervous system's stress response fires in milliseconds, a resilience threshold takes actual time to forge. It is an architectural defense mechanism that we must actively, intentionally construct brick by brick. You aren't just handed a threshold at birth. You have to build it through your habits, your daily mindset, and your continuous intentional practices.
Which brings us to the actual formal definition of a resilience threshold. It is the capacity we actively build to withstand the level of stress our body develops. And the underlying logic here is incredibly powerful, because state anxiety develops so suddenly, literally in a mere fraction of a second, you cannot possibly build your defense in that exact moment. It's simply too late. I mean, you can't start building a roof when the hurricane is already overhead, right? Therefore, your resilience threshold must be the perimeter you've deliberately built beforehand. It's the critical groundwork you laid down on the calm, quiet days so that you are structurally sound and firmly rooted on the chaotic ones.
This is the core push and pull you experience every single day of your life. On one side, we have state anxiety. It is immediate, it is bodily, and it is a sudden stress that hits us entirely unexpectedly. It acts as a rapid, invasive force. On the other side, we have the resilience threshold. This is our constructed defense capacity. It is structural, it is thoroughly prepared, and most importantly, it is entirely within our control. And this brilliantly illustrates the eternal balancing act of the human experience. The unpredictable, rapid-fire spikes of daily life are constantly testing the steady, constructed capacity of your mind and body. By deeply understanding the precise clinical reality of state anxiety, knowing that it's essentially just a biological, chemical response in a given fraction of time, we actually strip away its ultimate power over us. It stops being this overwhelming, abstract cloud of doom or some sign of personal failure. Instead, it becomes a mechanical, biological reaction that we can actively plan for. Stripping away that mystery is incredibly freeing for our mental health. Recognizing exactly how stress operates on a micro level empowers us. So, the crucial point is, it gives us the exact blueprint for why we must balance the given moment by putting in the daily, dedicated work to build our threshold against it.
Which leads us with the ultimate question to close out this explainer. What does your resilience threshold look like in your current, given moment in time? Think about it. If a sudden, unexpected wave of state anxiety were to hit your body right now, literally as you're absorbing this information, how high is your wall? How strong is your internal foundation? Take a hard look at your daily habits and ask yourself if you are actively building that defensive capacity today. Remember, resilience is never a final destination. It's an ongoing construction project. Keep building. Thank you for joining me for this explainer.